Hi, my name is Imo and welcome to my channel In My Opinion, where we discuss creative outlooks to endlessly inspire hope, connection, and self-love. So today I wanted to get on here and talk about what you see in the title. He set the bar high and now what? So when we're dating, we have these specifications that we're looking for, these areas of connection. I guess you could say they're not necessarily green flags. They're just maybe aspects that we look for in another person. Like, for example, if you really love music, you might want to find someone who connects to music as well, or might be a musician or has some kind of musical background or really enjoys music too. Or for example, if you like gaming or specific interests, you might want to meet someone who is like that as well. Or if you've had a certain experience in your life, like if you've been through trauma or if you are a widow, you might want to meet someone who resonates with you in that way. So I feel like when we're dating, we're looking for particular affinities and areas of connection that just really make us go wild, I guess you could say. So I was on a dating app a few months ago. I feel like that's the story of my life these days. A few months ago, I was on a dating app. So I was on a dating app a few months ago and I met a guy on there who I really felt met one of my points of connection. So one thing that I'm really looking for in a partner is someone who's a great communicator. I think communication essentially is my love language. I felt like he was just such an excellent communicator. So he messaged me and he was very interested in my profile. He knew what to point out on my profile. He was really good at sparking and initiating conversation about particular points on my profile. He was very engaging. He asked me lots of questions. He was super humorous and funny. And he just took a very strong and genuine and engaging interest in my life. Like, for example, there were certain things about me, like maybe certain interests I had and aspects about my background that he highlighted, and he wanted to know like the whole journey of me going through, like, for example, I guess you could say like my career. He was really interested in knowing like, okay, what do you do now, and like what is the whole journey of you getting here, and just very good at picking up on certain aspects of my personality and being invested in that. For example, I'm a words person, and he knew I was like an English literature major, and he would make these, like, he would talk to me, like he really resonated with some of the words that I used on my profile. And because I'm such a nerd when it comes to words, I would use specific words on my profile, and he resonated with the words I used and actually brought them up, like, you use this word, and it was just like, you actually noticed that? So that was another thing. And there was just this kind of like nerdy banter a bit, because like he was like a scientist. So I really enjoyed that connection. It was really nice. Yeah, it was just weird because he was just so deeply interested in me. And for example, he asked me about like if I've ever had times in my life where I was single for a long period of time, and what did those times in my life teach me. And he asked these like kind of high school type self-discovery essay questions, and I'm like a sucker for that. So the riz was super strong, y'all, and it was like who is this person? And like, I'm so excited right now, and I really hope this connection continues. So that's really how I was feeling. Like, it was just one of those like whirlwind types of communication with someone that's like, wow. So yeah, I was really feeling very strongly connected to this person for that small space of time. So that happened a few months ago, and then so we were having quite a bit of a back and forth, and it was going really good. I had never met someone who was good at communicating with me in this way. Like, up until that point, I honestly didn't think that really existed. Like, I've met guys that I've had like good communication or decent communication with, but this was like really like set the bar so high for me that I was like super excited and like, okay, this is amazing, this is good, like let's go. And then so we communicated back and forth like over the span of a couple days, and long story short, we had a phone conversation, and the phone conversation went really well too. And then after the phone conversation, I didn't hear back from him for a couple days, when it would make sense to be in contact with that person if you've had a great conversation like that. And then I realized that he was ghosting me. So I messaged him and I said, you know, are you ghosting me? And he finally replied and quite frankly confirmed that he was, because essentially he was burned out from dating, and it was one of those things where it was like the wrong time of his life, and he just basically didn't want to communicate with me anymore. And so that left me feeling like, okay, he has set the bar high, and now what am I going to do? Like, how am I going to find someone else who has hit this kind of, I guess you could say, spot in me and connects so well? Like, will I be able to find that again? Someone who really hits the nail on my love language. What am I going to do now? So it just brings into question this whole idea of when you meet people who really show you that a certain aspect of what you're looking for actually exists, but for whatever reason, that connection or relationship does not work out. And it's like, okay, he set the bar high, and now what am I supposed to do? So here's what I'm gonna say. Don't be discouraged. I think meeting these kinds of people, in a sense, it shows you what you are looking for in a partner or a friendship or a connection. Like, when you see that part of yourself enlivened and activated when you connect with someone, when you're talking with someone, and it's really hitting like a strong spot inside of you, it's kind of showing you, well, it's not kind of showing you, but it's showing you what affinity you have in your connection with someone, what makes you tick when it comes to finding a partner. And that's a good thing, because it's really important to learn more about yourself and what you value and what you're looking for in a person. I think also meeting somebody who you find affinity with in a specific area also shows you that that does exist, because I felt like I was having these kind of good, but not the best, but good, decent, fair communications with people. And I felt like, okay, when I met this person, it was like, wow, this is something that actually exists. There are people out here who know how to communicate like this. Even though that person did not fulfill the other qualities, like he wasn't ready to be with someone and that type of thing. At least you know that that is out there, and in some kind of way, it gives you hope. It gives you hope that, like, okay, this does truly exist, and this part of me that I long to be fulfilled, it's not hopeless. Like, it can be fulfilled. I can find a connection that is like this out there. Another thing I would say is that I feel like it also challenges you to embrace and accept connections for however long they last. Because I think part of what makes us miserable sometimes when we are dating is that we meet someone and there's a connection, and we have an expectation or a desire for how long we want that connection to last. And I particularly struggle with this because for someone like me, I'm kind of like a very like sentimental, quieter, like introverted type of personality. And in that sense, I don't open myself up to everybody. And so the connections that I have with people can be quite rare or few and far between, I guess you could say. And so if I find a good connection with someone, then I do want it to last because I'm not connecting with people on the regular. But I feel like this type of scenario helps me to grow in this area and challenges me to accept connections for what they are, for however long they last, for however good they are in that moment, and be able to kind of have a sense of peace and gratitude for the space of that connection and challenge myself to move on, being just thankful and grateful that I've had that interaction with that person, which is a really big challenge. But I think when you are dating people, having that kind of mindset is very helpful because you'll meet all kinds of different people. You'll have all kinds of different connections. Some will be short, some will be long. And you'll want to be thankful for all of them, and you'll want to enjoy and embrace all of them, because if you don't, then it will be very hard for you. So I feel like it's just a form of like acceptance in a way, like challenging oneself to accept the duration of the connection and just being happy and thankful that you connected with that person for however long you did. So what about you guys? Have you ever met someone where you had a very strong initial spark, or where they really connected to some aspect or interest or attribute that's very important to you, and then it fizzled and died off? How did you deal with it? Do you resonate with some of the things I was saying in terms of gratitude and being thankful? What are your guys' thoughts? Feel free to comment below, and please like and subscribe for more content.